You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 8687.
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rain.
Welcome to Foo Bar, One Nation Under Foo. I am your host, The Foo, and I am back from vacation live from Foo Bar Studios at KLRNradio.com, where liberty and reason still reign. And you know what? I think I'm still on vacation because I can't talk. I wondered that this might happen because, you know, you spend 5 days being fabulous in New York City and you come back and you're not fabulous. Oh, my God, you guys, I have to tell you. First of all, I have to say thanks because Patriot Musket, Nick did a great job. I was able to catch his interview with Carol last week from New York City. I did listen for a little bit, and I'm so grateful that he came on the air and sat in live so he didn't have a rerun, and I bet he could actually read and speak when he was on the air. I'm telling you what, 5 days in New York City, I don't know how you people who live there live there. You know, we thought, hey, let's go on vacation to New York City. It'll be so relaxing. No, it was not relaxing. I tell you what, I have never walked so much and sweat my chubby ass. I easily lost 9 pounds in 5 days. Crazy amount of walking. My sister-in-law kept saying, it's a walking city. And I'm like, this sucks. I'm on vacation. Get a limo. But you know what? I have to tell you, it was pretty amazing being in New York City. We did stay on Times Square. So we were in the heart of crazy. And it was amazing. The people never stop. Nothing ever stops. There's traffic. There's so much traffic. Oh, my God. It just was mind-blowing to me. And, you know, I've been in Vegas. I've been in San Francisco. I've been in Austin, Dallas. And so I'm thinking I'm all big and bad. I've been to Chicago a lot. I get in New York City, and I'm like, oh, my God, where are we going? Where are all these people? And I start freaking out a little bit the first day. But then I got used to it. We started walking, and I started seeing the city. And I got to tell you, crack whores are real. I had no idea. You know, you hear all these jokes about people being crack whores. They're real things. I actually saw one arguing with her drug dealer because her roommate smoked all of her shiznit. Yeah, I can't say what she really said. That was like the first time I saw a tumbleweed when I lived out in Wyoming. I didn't think they were real either. I know I'm a total dork. I'm so naive, but I didn't think tumbleweeds were real either. My husband, of course, also had me convinced that mustard bugs exist. And yeah, anyway, it was interesting to see the real crack horse. And you know, we did a lot of Ubering when we were up in New York City. And my favorite Uber driver was a dude from Guam, rather large black gentleman, driving a very large Cadillac SUV. I think it was a Suburban. When he picked us up, he was rocking to Whitesnake. He told us as we were driving from the Natural History Museum back to the hotel that in his country they can cure gay people. Yeah, this was an interesting Uber ride. We took all kinds of cabs. We did see Hamilton. And you know what? We got to talk about Hamilton a little bit, but I'll get to that here shortly. But I also have to tell you, we saw Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yeah, the dude's like 3 inches shorter than me. And I mean, I'm pretty tall. But, you know, you think when they're on TV, they're these giant people, and they're these little tiny people. But he and his hair was way blonder than mine. But super nice guy. Beth was with him, and they were really cool. It's just amazing the things you see when you're in New York City. And to people who live there, it's commonplace. But Hamilton, I got to talk a little bit about Hamilton. Because, you know, they made a big deal, was it last year, of course, with Hillary going and then Pence. And everyone had in their head that this was this progressive leftist musical. And, you know, I was like, well, I'm not going to see that. And my husband, though, convinced me. My husband always convinces me of these things. He said, you know, you really should see this. You need to go into the lion's den. You got to get out of the bubble. You got to go there and listen and see what they have to say just so you can get an idea of what the other side says. So we forked over some cash, and my kids may not be able to go to college now, but whatever. And we did go to see Hamilton. And I got to tell you guys, it is not a progressive play. It is not a leftist play. It is a Federalist play. There are conservative pieces all through it. It was stunning. It was just stunning. And the music was great, and the message was there. There's a song about toasting a glass to freedom, and I'm crying like an idiot. It was just so good. And so I was on Twitter. Of course, you know me. I have to get on Twitter and talk shiznit. Almost caught myself. I got to get on there and talk smack because that's what I do. And I'm like, whoever thought this play is progressive is an idiot. Or they don't know history, or they don't understand what Alexander Hamilton is talking about, or what Thomas Jefferson is Thomas Jefferson is great. Aaron Burr is amazing. There's all these characters in history who come to life. And if you're a political dork like I am, and you love history and you love music, I know I'm fangirling, but it was so great. And King George is probably the best part of the whole play. You got to see it. If you even have a chance, listen to the soundtrack. Take a time. Don't let the politics on the side. Don't let people being idiots keep you from seeing a play that is smart, that tells history, that encourages people to know about how this country was founded. It makes it cool. I mean, it's really well done. And that probably was the best part of New York City, except for on the way back. So we were, this is my favorite part of the trip, unfortunately for my poor son. We flew back on Sunday. And we actually paid for a driver to take us from the hotel to LaGuardia. And if you've gone into LaGuardia lately, they're doing a ton of construction. And so it was like a freaking roller coaster in there with all of these turns and dips and hills and crazy driving. And my son and I both have a tendency to get motion sickness. Well, I didn't think about to give him a Dramamine. They make kids Dramamine before we got in the car. Because, I'm thinking, well, he'll take it at the airport so he doesn't have any problems. I'm in my head about it. Well, we get to the airport, and he says, Mom, I don't feel good. I said, well, baby, just take a deep breath. We'll get through security, then we'll go and, we'll get you a little water. And, Mom, I think I'm going to puke. Well, I thought he was just being a little melodramatic. So I'm like, you know what, just take a deep breath. We get into TSA security. We're in line, and we're waiting to go in and get on, and we actually had priority boarding, and we're in priority. And my son looks at me and proceeds to barf all over TSA. So after I figured out he was okay, first mommy instinct was, oh, my poor baby is sick. Hug, he's embarrassed. We're trying to take care of him and get him cleaned up. But then after we get through all of that and we hear TSA arguing with the people at LaGuardia about who's going to clean it up. Not my job to clean it up, they were saying. Well, whose job is it? It's in your security line. And it was like, my God, this is what's wrong with government. Listening to TSA and LaGuardia airport folks complaining and bitching about cleaning up a pile of puke. Well, it's not my job. They didn't know that we were the family whose son had done this. So they were complaining all around us, which I thought was really interesting. But, once my son was fine and he was moving on, it's like he became kind of this conservative folk hero because he barfed all over TSA. It was perfect for my 10-year-old. He's like, yeah, that's right. So now he's bragging about throwing up. So he's no longer embarrassed. He thinks it's totally cool that he barfed on big government. So that's my baby boy. And that's our trip. And I had to tell you guys, it's kind of like I'm coming back and I'm talking to my friends so I can gossip and tell you all the crap we did in New York City. But there are a couple other things I want to talk about before we go into break and hit douchebags. It's a full show. I've been gone 2 weeks. Bear with me. We got to talk about Google a little bit and James Damore. Now, if you under a rock and you missed it, James wrote a memo. And the memo basically pointed out that men and women are different. Pretty simple. Nothing horrible. This memo actually got him fired because people freaked out, especially Google. Feminists decided that he was this evil, white, racist, sexist, bigot, homophobic, Islamophobe or whatever. And he must be destroyed because he was thinking differently than them. I think it actually ties in most to what Gizmodo did with their headline, with how they reported on it. You really saw a lot of people in social media complaining about this memo who had no clue what it actually said. I would like to think if they had actually read the memo and understood what he was talking about, that they wouldn't have been so freaked out. One of the things, and I have it pulled up here so I wouldn't forget it, this is what got him fired. Something like this. It's a suggestion he made. This is the last line. He said, I'm advocating for quite the opposite. I'm advocating that we treat people as individuals, not as just another member of their group. Oh my gosh, how horrible and sexist of him. He even has a piece of this memo where he talks about that women are better than men and all of these things. He makes a great case about why there are more men who are engineers than women. And he talks about the biological side of it because he has a PhD in biology. There's nothing hateful or hard or mean about what he wrote. It is reality. God, even CNN was blatantly lying about what he wrote. CNN said that his memo was talking about how women were not physically capable of being in certain roles at Google. No, he didn't do that. What he said was women and men are different, and we need to stop pretending that just because I have boobs, I should have every right to do what this other guy does, even if I'm not experienced or capable or able to do it. You know, the whole idea that having a vagina somehow qualifies me for whatever I want to do is ridiculous. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not a cowboy. I don't want to drive a big-ass truck. There are things I know I'm incapable of, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I have a vagina, not a penis. Nothing. It is what I know. I can write, I can talk, I can get in front of people and be an idiot, but I'm not going to be an astronaut. And it's not because the world is sexist. It's because I get sick in the back of a moving car. I mean, it's just a reality of who people are. Now they're talking about, and this is Gizmodo again, now they're talking about that in college he had the audacity to make a joke about masturbation. Oh, well, now he really deserves to be fired because, you know, masturbation shouldn't be funny or whatever. Yeah. You know what, you guys, you're gone for a week. You come back and the world is even dumber than when you left to go on vacation. I'm going to take a short break. When I get back, I'm going to go through this week's top 10 douchebags, so stay put.
One shot, baby, there you go again. 2 shots and I think you know it. 3 shots come, you might find your daddy gone.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
One shot, baby, there you go again. 2 shots and I think
Oh my gosh, I love breaks. And you guys miss all the fun when we're on break. And thank you for staying put. You're on Foo Bar, One Nation Under Foo. This is the Foo. And we were chit-chatting. Rick and I were chit-chatting during break because I'm looking in the chat room and you all are talking about BBC. And he said it was my fault because I talked about masturbation before we went to break. And you know what? If BBC is your thing, I don't know what else to tell you. Go for it. All right, we're back from vacation, and I tell you what, my brain's, I think it's still on vacation. And another thing we were talking about on break was, is there another word for the big black beep that I can say without getting in trouble? And of course, he said I could say cock if I wanted to. So I just said cock because I can, and we're moving on. And speaking of that, we're going to go on, oh boy, to this week's Top 10 Douchebags. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that every week we go out into social media and we ask you good people to nominate nasty people for our Top 10 Douchebags of the Week. If you're not used to the show, welcome. You probably won't be listening again after the whole BBC thing. But what we do here at the Foo is we try and make sure you guys are part of what we're doing every week. Plus, it makes my job way easier. So what we do is we ask you folks to nominate people for our Top 10 Douchebags. We go through all of them, we pull them all together, and then we make fun of everybody for like 10 minutes, and it's a lot of fun. So, on that note, here is this week's Top 10 Douchebags. Y'all are kind of mean because at Number 10, Politibunny for being on vacation. You know, people need vacations, Smarkies. And occasionally, even crazy mouthy rabbits need a vacation. And clearly, I'm energized, and I'm all back, and I'm wide awake talking about masturbation and things. So the vacation was a good thing. But Dave, you're the one who nominated me for my own top 10 douchebag list, and you suck. And now you're a douchebag at number 10. At number 9 is Mike Cernovich. You know, oh boy, Cernovich. I've been avoiding bringing him up on the show or putting him on the list, and he gets nominated every week because, you know, and part of me feels sorry for the guy because I think there's something broken, but yeah, this is not good. You know, we do make fun of him a good deal. Mike Cernovich, if you don't know who he is the gorilla mindset guy. He's got a lisp. I don't know. I've never listened to his videos. I can't do it. But a lot of people do. Apparently, he thinks that electricity talks to him. He takes like these super vitamins. I don't know. He makes Alex Jones look normal. But he made the list this week because he's, I guess, pivoted from being on the Trump train. He's not happy with Trump, and so he's kind of doing this pivot thing, whatever that means. It's interesting seeing these people who were using the Trump movement, as it were, to gain an audience. It was very easy during the primaries and the election to yip, yip, hooray, I'm on the Trump train, and all these people kind of conglomerate, and you build this huge audience. You know, you saw people who went from 13,000 followers to a couple 100,000, all because they got on the train. And now we see people getting off the train because they figured out what a lot of us knew was that there was something not good here. So Mike Cernovich is a douchebag at number 9. At number 8 is Google. Now, you know, people wanted Google to be way higher on the list, but, you know, we spent a little time talking about Google separately. Google HR, Google CEO, Gizmodo, CNN, all of these groups of people who have worked to silence an idea. They've made the list at number 8 this week. I think what's bigger and scarier than the fact that this guy lost his job is that there are people who are defending that he lost his job. Well, all of these women were terrified to go to work. They were scared because of a damn memo. They proved his memo right. They called in sick because he had a memo and he said things they didn't like, even though they didn't read the damn memo. So they proved the guy right. They get the guy fired, and now they act like, huzzah, we did this great thing because he was dangerous and sexist, and women should complain, and women are victims, but we're equals, and blah, and it's stupid, and they're douchebags at number 8. And speaking of women being douchebags, I don't know if the next one's a woman or not. I'm totally confused about Brianna Wu. Some people keep telling me that Wu was a dude. Now, I don't know, and I don't want to get into it because it's none of my business, but Brianna Wu is number 7 this week. And Brianna, of course, has been out there, you know, pounding her or his chest because, you know, racist, sexist men have no business in technology, and we must fight to stop these evil men. And, you know, she blocked me when I said this was not about her. And then, of course, she talked about how, well, for the next 24 hours, all of these men are going to be yelling about it. And I see more women who are pissed off about what happened. So really, Wu is sexist because Wu doesn't understand that women think differently than he or she does. See, it gets really confusing because if Wu is a dude acting like this, is he extra sexist? Or is Wu a chick? Is it gender fluid? Is she a unicorn? I don't know. But she's a douchebag, or he's a douchebag at number 7. Number 6 is Sadiq Khan. What?
Don't insult unicorns.
Sorry, the unicorn thing. It's like my go-to. Number 6 is Sadiq Khan, who is the mayor of London. Sadiq has decided he's going to blame the increase in stabbings in his country on the internet. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that. It's not Islamic extremists who are stabbing more people. It is that there are too many internet videos online that are influencing people to stab other people. And, you know, I got to tell you, Sadiq, this whole blaming a video on Islamic extremism doesn't work very well. Ask Hillary and Obama about Benghazi. It's that same weird mentality. Well, we're gonna shut down all these videos, and then these evil terrorists will stop stabbing people. Of course, Sadiq doesn't want to admit the real problem is Islamic extremists and terrorists. He wants to blame it on the internet. So he is a big old douchebag at number 6. At number 5 is Brian Stelter. If you don't know who Brian is on CNN. Brian is a very vocal opponent to Trump and Republicans in general. He's also kind of annoying. And I think it was last night, actually, that he was talking about there's a weakness in the White House, so that means the media is strong. You know, he's all thumping his chest about how tough the media is in Trump era. The media is so badass, and they're holding to their guns and whatever. You know, he got upset, and I actually got to write about this yesterday. Dude got upset because Daily Caller used his photo in an article they did on how average Americans are really sick of media elite. And guess who was the media elite? Well, that was Brian. And Brian seemed offended. And he even talked about, well, I'll ask my ordinary white family what they think about this. You know, he got all bent out of shape. So between whining about the media elite and then telling us how strong he is, Brian is a douchebag at number 5. And number 4 is Peter Dow. Or is it Doe? Or is it Dope? You know, Peter is like Hillary Clinton's biggest fan. Peter is, I don't know, the head of her fan club. He's got some weird obsession with her. I used to joke that he has a shrine in his basement, and he's got little pieces of Hillary hair and pantsuits all over the place with candles and photos. I don't know, but dude is whacked. You know, you see people who are like in love with Justin Bieber or whatever, One Direction. This is how Peter acts about Hillary Clinton, which is really kind of gross and creepy if you think about it. Today he was talking about how things would be better if there hadn't been all of this hate toward Hillary. Because, you know, Hillary would have somehow made Kim Jong-un sane and not want to kill everybody because she's so brilliant or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It makes no sense. Then he blamed Republicans for everything. Not just North Korea. Everything. Yeah, you know, dude's whack. And he's so mad at Democrats. It's not even just Republicans that he complains at. He complains at Democrats and the Bernie Sanders people who cost her the election. And I don't know. It's like I think there's something broken in him too. But either way, Peter is a douchebag at number 4. At number 3 is John McCain. And Mitch McConnell by default. But I got to tell you, John McCain really bothers me because a couple weeks ago, we were on this show talking about how the left was attacking him for coming back to vote and how he'd voted to have a debate on the health care bill. And then he screwed us there. And then he said, he came out and he was mad about what Donald Trump had said about fire and fury. And, you know, whether or not you like what Donald said, it's about time we had a president in this country who said, to hell with you people overseas. If you start it, we're going to finish it. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Trump. Everybody knows this. But I really thought that he was in the right with the way he behaved this time. And I know we'll get into this later, I'm sure. But it was I don't know, it was enlightening to see a president of America going, stick it up your ass. We're done. We're not going to take it. If you screw with us, if you threaten us, if you hurt our people, we will end you. I like that. I'm sorry. So John McCain, he made the douchebag list this week at number 3. And speaking of North Korea, number 2 is Kim Jong-un. Thank you, Persnickety, for sending him to me every week. I know you're a very consistent, dedicated douchebag sender. I think we all know why Kim made the list. Because they're talking about openly hitting the waters of Guam by mid-August. That was right before I came on the air. I saw that. He's a big old douchebag, and it's time someone took him down. I'm sorry. I agree with Trump on him. I think he's right. If you screw with us, we're going to end it. Merry Christmas. At number 1, guys, you know, for a long time, this guy was number 1, and then he's not president anymore. But since he's going to be on the show here in a little bit, I thought it only made sense that we let Barack Obama be the number 1 douchebag this week, just for old time's sake, and just because he's going to be on the show here in a little bit. So, Barack Obama, congratulations. You made number 1 on the douchebag list. Honorable mention this week is the road beer. And it's not just 1 or 2 people who keep nominating RB. There's like 5 or 6 people who keep nominating my brother. And, you know, he's in the chat talking smack about his, you know, the big black thing. So I think it's only fair that we give him an honorable mention on this week's Top 10 Douchebags. And that's it, folks. I'm going to take a short break. When we get back, we will have Barack Obama on the phone. Stay put.
One shot, baby, there you go again. 2 shots, and I think you know again. 3 shots, come, you might find your daddy gone.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
One shot, baby, there you go again. 2 shots, and I think you know again. 3 shots, come, you might find your daddy gone.
And we're back from break. Whew. And this is FUBAR, One Nation Under Foo. I got to tell you, all of these security things we have to go through to talk to our guests, man, what a pain in the butt all this red tape has been, but it has been worth it because we've been talking about the man for a long time. And it was about time we brought him on to talk to him, don't you think? So on the line with me right now, out of his busy schedule, is President Barack Obama. Sir, are you there?
I'm here. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Things are slowing down a little bit for me. A little more personal time with Michelle and the kids, and still involved and got my finger on the pulse of what's going on in this country.
I see. And what do you think's going on in this country?
A lot of things. A lot of pretty unstable. And okay. The reason why I'm glad you asked me to be on the show, and one of the things I think that we have to do is you look at the political climate right now. You look at the division, you look at the partisanship, and that didn't happen when I was in office.
No, absolutely. There was no partisanship when you were in office. I do have
So we've got to bridge that divide. And I know a lot of your listeners weren't necessarily fans of me. No. So they have questions, they have concerns, and I'm here to answer them the best I can.
Well, I appreciate that you came on, and I have a couple questions for you. Actually, I asked people to send me questions, and they sent me almost 100 questions for you. But we've only got a little while, so I'm only going to ask you a few, okay? The first question I have, people want to know about your college transcripts. Are we going to have a chance to see those now that you're out of office?
Well, I mean, this is similar to the birth certificate story, the shenanigans that involved that. Everybody knows I was highly decorated, was a constitutional scholar at the University of Harvard. Everybody knows that. My credentials speak for themselves.
Sure.
People fought like crazy to get a birth certificate. He wasn't. And of course, what happened? Of course, I was born in Hawaii. Everybody knows it. It's just a waste of time. And I think that when people really understand that, when Donald Trump releases his taxes, I'll make sure I release my college transcript.
Okay. So are you basically challenging President Trump that if he will release his tax return, you'll release your college transcripts?
Yep. The only difference is that I'll release my transcripts, which will show you everything you need to know. He won't release his because we know what we need to know. So
then why don't you just go ahead and release them if they'll show what we need to know?
Well, because it's just feeding, it's red meat to the teabaggers and lots of people who want to divide this country. I mean, it's done, it's over with. I was the president. I enjoyed my time, and I did some pretty good things. And I'm proud of the track record that me and many Americans did during the time I was president.
Okay, great. I guess we can move on then. Another question Americans have for you is how you like your canine prepared.
If you're referring to a line I said in a book a long time ago about my childhood eating dog, I didn't have much choice in the matter. Let's just say I don't eat it anymore. But it wasn't as bad as you may think. Just like a lot of strange delicacies, tastes like chicken.
So how do you like your canine prepared? Are you a broiled kind of guy, or boiled, or fried?
It was thrown on the grill. I mean, it's an open fire. Very poor country. Growing up there for the period of time that I did, you take what you can get. It's like it's like the kids who grew up on ramen noodles or mac and cheese. They grow up and they don't want to eat that anymore. Kind of the same thing.
So you grew up eating dog, so now you don't have to eat it anymore, basically, is what you're saying?
For the most part, yes. I mean, why would I go back to those days?
Good. I think that's a fair question. Okay, and a good answer. Another question we have.
And I want to try on something. I mean, it's funny that out of the hundreds of questions that people want to know, the first couple of questions are about my college transcript and how I like to eat dog.
Well,
we have serious things going on in our country, and even serious issues and things that involved me as president. And this is the type of divisiveness that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of divisiveness, another question I had from readers was they wanted to know why you hate policemen so much.
I have a very fond respect for the boys in blue. Those who are in authority, those who do what they do. But I think I have a long track record of standing up for people's rights and standing up for people's right to be free and to not feel as if they're being threatened. And we have to admit that there's some amazing police officers, some people who've kept me safe, that I owe my life to. But there's also some bad ones. And I'm not afraid to speak out when there's injustice going on.
And just a question with this, since you're talking about the police. Did you realize today is the anniversary of Michael Brown dying in Ferguson?
I didn't know that. It's not something that came up on my calendar. But I do say that that was an unfortunate situation. And to this day, that's a community that still has a lot of healing to do down in Ferguson.
I can't do it. Jason. I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here dying. You guys, this is Jason DeWilkins. And, I'm sorry. I told him 10 minutes. I lasted 8. So I couldn't do it. Jason is one of the most talented voice, actors, radio guys. You should do a little Trump for folks since I've got you on the line.
That'd be a tougher transition. Ask me a question and I'll answer it like Trump. It's probably better that I do that.
We can do Trump. You probably need to get out of Obama mode. And what's funny is I know we talked a little bit before we came on the show. I wanted to give you an idea. You should see the questions people have. If they thought I was really talking to Obama or not, people are still really pissed. And, he's been gone, 8 months? And they're so angry still. There are questions about, how can you sleep at night knowing you killed all these people? And they want to know about Iran. And I know you mentioned that you kind of had to get back in character because, you used to Obama all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we used to, guys, if you don't know, Jason DeWilkins has been around a long time. And he's probably, I think, one of the best guys in radio. We used to do a show together a long time ago. Seems like a long time ago. And
it was, like 2 years ago, probably. A little bit more than that, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
You could be wrong. You were wrong a lot back then, so you could be wrong now.
Well, it's true.
I mean,
that is true. Not much has changed. So that's good.
Yeah. But, what are you doing? What are you up to?
Nothing. I'd like to say that there's a lot that I'm doing in regards to, and I applaud you, Bunny, for doing what you're doing and continuing to have the voice that you have out there. You've been one of the loudest and most passionate and consistent voices in amongst grassroots conservatives, and that is appreciated and still needed, very, very much so.
I don't know if it's consistent or if I'm just really damn stubborn and I can't let things go, but I appreciate that.
No, it could be. That's fine. We've come to love that about you as well. But it's one of those things to where, obviously, I actually went back and listened to some previous According to Me episodes that I did, and some ones that we did at the very end, you and I. And, we were on the air at the end, at least of our show, of when, the Republican primary really started to rolling and the debates were going on, et cetera, et cetera. No states had voted yet, but it was right before that time. As to, when all the debates were open, we were, breaking down the GOP debate and stuff like that. And and even right then and there, we were just beside ourselves that there are so many people, so many what we thought as quote unquote allies, or so many people we thought that we were on the same side with who clearly we weren't on the same side with. And it became very, very disenchanting to me. Like I became almost a hermit and just got pissed off about the entire situation because there's so many people who I thought I was on the same side of that clearly are nothing more than about just being team. This is a team sport for them. And, when our side isn't winning, we bitch about it. And when our side is winning, everything's fine. And it's really, really frustrating that there are so many people that I thought I really, really had a good found respect and admiration for that turned out to just be terrible, terrible people who were just self-serving and just they were fans. They were sports fans. That's all they were. It wasn't about the Constitution. It wasn't about the founding fathers. It wasn't about any of that stuff. It was simply about we don't like the guy who's in office right now. And so let's bitch about it and talk about the founding fathers and the Constitution and how he needs to respect the balance of power and this, that, and the other. And these are the same people now who they're crickets on their side when the current president does the exact same thing. And it's just so frustrating to me that I've semi-checked out on a lot of the clown show that is Washington now,
When we were back complaining and making fun of, and we made fun of Donald Trump a lot, and we were really having a good time. Even then, there was still this, I can't believe this is our side. And these are the people we've been fighting with, and suddenly, they're trying to hurt you because you don't agree with them anymore. And I don't know about you, but for me, I learned something about the party that I guess I was naive, and that I really believed what I was saying. and that we really did care about country and individual liberty, that we weren't racist, that we weren't sexist, that we were pushing for these ideas because we meant them and we loved them and we cherished where we came from. And suddenly none of that mattered to so many people. It blew me away. I didn't become a hermit. I did hide away for about 3 months, but I guess I was a hermit, but it was a little different for me. But it was a really rude awakening. And now that he's won, it's like, okay, and someone said this perfectly to me this week. They said, Bunny is a lot like she's an ump in a ball game, and that she's calling strikes and balls. And she's being fair. So like when Trump does something right, like tell North Korea to stick it up their ass, okay, I like that. Does something stupid where he goes on Twitter and complains about Jeff Sessions, I'm going to say that's stupid. I think that's where I have to be, because I don't want the country to fail. I don't want Trump to fail, but I can't ever get on that train. And I think that's going to be hard for a lot of people, and I think you included, and I may be speaking for you, but I don't think you're ever going to be able to jump on the train and be, hee-haw, everything's great, I'm a Republican. I just don't see that with you.
No, that ship sailed long ago. I mean, I wrote my breakup letter to the Republican Party in 2013 when I started my show. So this is well before Trump and all of that. I mean, I realized that these are the biggest losers on the planet. And if you want any proof that they continue to be able to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory, I mean, look at what they're doing. I mean, they have Congress, they have this. I mean, they have the House, they have the Senate, they have the presidency, and they have done nothing. Zero. Nothing.
Well, now they're blaming each other for it.
Yeah,
Mitch McConnell today was blaming the president. The president blames Congress. But they have all the power and authority they ever said they needed. Give us the House.
And here's the thing. They will send, and I know you and I have talked about this before, they will send bills to Obama as president and say, hey, we want to repeal Obamacare, because it's all kabuki theater. It's all a show. It's just to say, look at how tough we are. We're going to sell the president that we don't want his health care plan. Well, now you have the ability to actually do it, and you have no courage to do it. And it just it's just despicable. It really shows. And I think, what really, really bothered me, and I think really what really ended, because I was doing a podcast on my own for a little bit, and, just doing like kind of 15 minutes here or there and not doing like a full hour show and so on and so forth. And after Ted Cruz lost in Indiana, my home state, and after the race pretty much went to Trump, and then more importantly, when Ted Cruz was what it was insinuated by Donald Trump that Ted Cruz's father was involved in the assassination of JFK, when Ted Cruz's wife was attacked by Donald Trump, and somehow, some way, his party meant more than his own honor and his own family, and Ted Cruz decides to endorse this guy, I just lost tons of respect for Ted Cruz, and lost just absolute respect for the Republican Party even more so, because it goes to show that the party is way more important than principle. And as long as our team jersey is in office, it doesn't really matter. And that's the really, really unfortunate thing. And the best way I can compare it is kind of like this, and you could take sports out of it. It's kind of like when we remember Penn State, and we remember Jerry Sandusky, who for 20 years was sodomizing young boys at the University of Penn State. And it went all the way up the university. The head coach knew about it. The athletic director knew about it. The president of the university knew about it. And they all turned a blind eye. And everybody said, and then, of course, you have the Penn State fans going, yeah, but you got to understand. I mean, Joe Paterno's great. And they're trying to defend, a sodomy of boys at their campus, because it's more important that they're football fans and not necessarily what's right and wrong. And yet everyone else will go and say, that's disgusting. Look how terrible those people are. But would you have the courage if your favorite team was in the same situation? Probably not. You would figure out a way to be like, yeah, but I mean, it's different now. That's the sad thing about it, is what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. And if you're more worried about what team is winning and losing than the country and what's at stake, then shame on you. And just a lot of people I respected and had a great relationship with, decided to slap on a great, Make America Great Again hat, and all of a sudden pretend as if, they're down for the fight of the Constitution of the Founding Fathers. And this guy couldn't be anything but. And that's just it's really frustrating.
Well, and I think, though, and I think where I understand what people were doing once he won, Even then, I still couldn't, won the primary, I still couldn't get on board. I just could not accept that this was the best that the GOP had. But I also understand that people who were so terrified of the idea of Hillary Clinton that they would vote for the Republican no matter who it was. So I try to be understanding of that mindset. I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the lever for him, even knowing that Hillary might beat him, because I just couldn't. I don't know. I voted for Johnson, which meant, it didn't matter anyway. But
really, I'm really surprised you voted for Gary Johnson. That's interesting.
Well, Johnson's not going to win, but I could live with myself. In my state, it really didn't matter. I was pretty sure that it was going to go blue anyway, so I wasn't hurting anything. Yeah. I could not, in good faith, pull the lever for the Republican because I just could not get on board with it. But understanding why some people did. And now you see that they're frustrated. Now they're happy, though. They're happy. We have Gorsuch, and Gorsuch is a great thing. We needed that, and I get it, that we needed that Supreme Court justice, and there are things we're going to have because of that are great. But the chaos that we're in now, and it's not just Trump's fault. It's Congress. It's the Senate. It's all of it. It's the media. We are surrounded consistently by children. They all act like little brats. And I don't know, and I've been talking about this on the show, is what do we do at this point? And what are we working toward anymore? Are we trying to fight back? And I'm cool with telling North Korea to stick it. What are we doing anymore? What is the country trying to accomplish now? And that's what feels weird to me is I don't have a goal. My goal used to be get Obama out of power, get the Democrats out of power, get back to small government. But we're not doing any of that. So now what? Now what, Jason?
I don't know the answer to that either. I really don't know the answer to that. What's funny is when I did my show, and I had a good friend of mine. He listened to every episode, and I did like 100 episodes. And about on the 50th episode, he said, "Hey, man, I really like your show. You're informing me a lot of things. It's funny. There's a lot of things I didn't even know that were going on that I'm knowing and learning because of your show. So it's great. But what? So what? So I know it. So what? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it was well, how do you take that next step? What do you do with that? And the answer is I don't freaking know. I'd love to be able to say I have all the ideas as to what to do, but just because you're informed and you and I can get behind a microphone and be able to tell people what's going on doesn't necessarily equal any sort of solution as to what's going on, because I don't really know that a lot of people even themselves know. I understand how Trump got elected. I understand that, when the argument is that there's 38 different genders out there, I understand why Trump got elected. When you were trying to say that a person does when a person can change their gender based on how they feel, I can see why Trump got elected. I understand the pushback.
I understand if the left though is out crazying what we're seeing that we thought was crazy. It's like just when I'm irritated with Trump, I'm like, I can't believe he did that. Some moron in Google is firing a guy because he didn't think women and men are the same. But then if they say women and men are the same, they still get pissed off because now they're saying women aren't unique. There is no winning. So I understand now why Trump resonated. I wasn't there. And I don't know that I'll ever quite get there. But I see it. And when you see the insanity that is going on with Antifa or Antifa, whatever the hell they are, you get it. It starts making sense, unfortunately. Yeah. Because that tells you how crazy the country is and how chaotic and how we are just spinning our wheels.
No, you're absolutely right, and I think that's the frustrating thing about the entire situation is the fact that, again, we have gone to we understand what the left is all about. They're progressives. They are moving towards socialism in a Porsche, and the Republicans are moving towards socialism in a moped. It's the same destination. It's just at a slower pace, and there is no difference really in regards to where they want to go.
Yeah. You used to think, well, the left is progressive, the right is conservative, and that's not so.
No,
there are
it's
progressives
really
on both sides. It's just a matter of, well, my team wants this kind of big government, so we're cool with that. And the other side wants that type of big government. And the rest of us are in the middle are going, none of us want big government. What the hell's wrong with you people? But then
and here's the crazy thing is as much as I want to rip on Trump right now, Trump doesn't have a clue as to most of the things that are going on anyway. He never has. And so if Congress was smart, they would allow, with all the distractions, with all of the absolute obsession with Donald Trump tweeting and the media losing their mind about everything he says, Congress can get some actual real stuff done that the president would sign only because it makes him look good. Trump probably doesn't give a shit what it is pardon my language. As long as it says what I would want it to say. Hey, look, we signed bills. These are going to be great things. Incredible things for the American people. That's going to happen, and he's going to be able to spike the football and say, look, I'm winning. Once again, I told you I'd win, and I'm winning. So that could happen right now.
Freaking do it. Repeal Obamacare, lower taxes, defund Planned Parenthood. You have
He would sign everything right now. Everything. Because right now, in fairness to Trump, he's getting embarrassed, and a lot of it is his own fault because nothing's getting done, and he's looking like the idiot, and he is, but Congress is just as bad, and the issue now stems is that Congress is getting nothing done at all, making him look even worse, when if it was anything, and there were rumors about that towards the end of the Obamacare before the break, that, look, put anything in front of Trump, he's going to sign it right now just so he can say, look, I signed something, we got things done. It could be the worst idea ever, but he's going to sign it anyway just so he can say, look, I got something accomplished. Well, you have the majority in the Senate and the freaking House. Get it done.
He's been asking them. Now, you know, I always say I'm not his big fan, but he has been begging, give me something to sign, people. Now, you got to give him that. He's like, freaking do something.
Absolutely.
I understand
his
irritation.
And this is where
and
here's the thing that's going to drive me crazy is all the things that they're doing. And mark my words, folks, for those of you who are listening to this right now, remember today's date, because I guarantee you around this time next year during the midterm elections, you're going to have the Republicans going, look, you got to put me back in Washington, man, because if you don't, you know, I mean, those Democrats are going to do things that I won't do. And even, you know, so you got to put me back so I can do nothing, right? I mean, either you put me back and I do nothing, or you vote for Democrats and they'll do something. So, I mean, don't you want me to at least do nothing? Yeah, of course, vote for me. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, mark my words. Jason, and you're going to have voters going, well, I don't want the Democrats to do it. And the Democrats are probably going to clean the clock of the Republican Party in 2018, and they should. They really should. And if they don't get out of their own way, they should destroy the Republicans in 2018. But I don't know if they will or not.
I don't think they will. I don't think, you know, and I got like 1 minute. I got to cut you loose. But I got to tell you, I don't think the Democrats, I saw numbers and I saw a whole story on it. They're in deep crap too because they can't seem to pull their party together. You have half the party who's like, well, we should be accepting of these pro-life Democrats. Then you have people going, oh my God, you're satanic. You want to allow life in this party. They're in trouble. They're not in much better shape than Republicans.
There's the Pelosi, you know, faction, and the Harry Reid and Pelosi faction, and then there's the Liz Warrens, the Bernie Sanders, the far left loons, and they're divided quite a bit too. But so are the Republicans. So it's an absolute crap show, which is exciting.
It is, which is reality of this country. Yay, Jason! Where do people find you anymore? Can they find you?
Nowhere. No, I'm. You can find me on Facebook, Jason DeWilkins. I actually, in the very near future, if you do subscribe to the According to Me podcast, it is still live. I am going back through some of the archives of some shows that I did and posting them back there so you can listen to them. There's some really good episodes I did that I forgot I did. That really break down certain things that happened 3 years ago that you're like, holy crap, I forgot about that. And a lot of them are still playing out to this day. So you can be able to check those out in the near future. And I'm sure we'll be talking in the future again. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Sarah.
You're welcome anytime. You know that. You don't even have to have an invitation. You can just come in because you know how that works. I appreciate coming on, making me laugh and keeping me honest. I appreciate that too, my friend. It was good to talk to you.
The ratings are going to be huge on this show.
I know they'll be huge. People love when we talk nonsense about Trump. Okay.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
See you then.
Oh my goodness. I adore him. You know, he's the only person I've ever known who talks faster than I do. Actually, there's one other guy. JD talks faster than I do. If you get a chance to ever hear JD talk, he is hysterical and he talks faster than either of us. Thank you guys for being with me tonight. It went by so fast. And I'm sorry I couldn't keep him on as Obama longer, but I just kept cackling to myself and having to mute myself, and that wasn't working very well. Next week I'll be back live again with my guest, Cranky Gordon from Twitter. He'll be here. We're going to chit-chat about who knows what. Stay put Grouch has a fantastic guest next hour, and I know he told me, and I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, but his show is always awesome. So stay put and listen to him. Stay in the chat room. I will talk to you guys next week. Stay out of trouble. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Well, never mind. It was supposed to be playing the Zac Brown Band right now, but it's not playing anything. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, great.
There we go.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw.
That is not the song it said it was. All right, folks, we're out of here. I give up. Good night.